Hey, it's Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Let's have some fighting words. In this video, I want to talk about Jermall Charlo. So apparently, he's gotten a little flack for his up and coming bout, or I don't even know how far they've gotten into this bout with Selecki, and he's gotten flack for it. It's like, how do you go from getting ready to fight Canelo, or possibly that fight is on the table, and now you're fighting this guy? And then you have somebody like David Benavidez, you have somebody like Demetrius Andre calling you out. These are guys who are both champions, championship quality, who've held belts, titles, and yet you're fighting this guy. In which case, his response was, you know what? What Canelo said was right. Why don't we fight for it? Which is ironic because that's typically what you do in boxing. You fight your way up so that you become a contender. You become the #1 ranked contender, and then you fight for the title. But over recent years, it's like, well, I like this fight, or I like this fight. Yeah, but that guy's #6. It doesn't matter. I'm the guy in control. And it's gotten so far out of hand and out of control that you have guys fighting for titles all the time, and they don't deserve it. They simply just don't deserve what they're fighting for. Or somebody just wants to make an easier fight for themselves, while retaining the title. And it's like, well, look how long I've lasted as a champion. Yeah, but look who you've been fighting as a champion as well. So we can make that same argument. Then you get the other side of that, where the promoters, they want to preserve their investment. And the way you preserve an investment in boxing is carefully picked fights. That's how you preserve an investment. So Jermall Charlo said, you know what, Canelo was right. Why don't we all fight for this? And, everybody wants the golden ticket. Everybody wants the golden goose. We all know that Canelo Alvarez is the golden goose, and everybody wants that fight. Well, if that's the case, why don't we all fight for it? So what Jermall Charlo has suggested was basically going back to the amateur system, or tournament style in boxing. In which case, I personally am totally up for it and love the thought of. I don't necessarily know how you're going to pull that off with 12, rounds, but outside of that, I like the thought of it. Or if, obviously it won't be all in one day because it's 12 rounds and because these are big names, So in terms of money, I don't know if you're going to generate the type of money you want to generate, because then you really be sharing that pot. Where are we going to have it? Who's going to host it? Who's going to put up all the money for all these guys? Those are the logistics. But the overall concept, I'm not mad at. I actually like a lot. Because the reality is there's a lot of good fighters out there. And unfortunately, there's a lot of great fighters who are never going to fight for a title because they're not marketable enough, or because they don't speak well on camera, because they don't play nice with the media, because they don't have the right promoter. There's a multitude of reasons on why they're never going to fight for the title. But if you put them in a tournament-like style, well, then everything is kind of leveled out. Now, it is boxing. Every once in a while, we get not every once in a while, a lot, we get some bad judging. But for the most part, if it's a tournament style, you have the opportunity to grab the bull by the horns, basically, and take the situation into your own hands. So, yeah, you could be beaten by the judge, or you could go and knock that dude out, and take it. And what has been denied you, and I'm not just talking about the belt, but just the opportunity to fight for the belt, because you're not the popular guy, because you're not, marketable, or because you don't have so many Instagram followers, or whatever the case may be, or because your promoter hates your guts, or because, who knows, maybe nationality-wise, you're not exactly the best nationality at the moment. Whatever the case may be. This would open it up where it becomes an even playing field. If we all fought together, and you're first and I'm second and I'm in the third round, I got no problem with that concept. It ought to be like that. I wish it were like that, because the reality is I don't believe a lot of the guys that we see right now who are champions would be champions. if it were like that. I don't believe that. I don't believe a lot of the people that we see right now would be champions. There's a lot of great fighters out there. And some are just in the gyms. Some have not even caught their break yet. Some have not even been seen by promoters yet. Some are, are being talked down upon by other fighters because it's like, man, if this guy gets in, it's trouble for the division. If this guy gets in the door, we just, nobody wants to go to that little mom and pop gym that you go to, or the fact that you might be from a no-name place. So there's a lot of variables that come into play on why somebody never gets the opportunity to fight for a title or just, be mentioned. There's a lot of variables. But overall, this is the main variable. Can you bring in dollars? That's the main variable. And you look at guys like, Sweet Pea. Was it entertaining to watch him make guys miss? Yeah, it was entertaining. But what's more entertaining? Mike Tyson knocking some fool's head off. That's more entertaining. So it's just like, do we want skills? Because there's a lot of people who will say that Floyd Mayweather is boring. I don't think he's boring. And if you understand boxing and you understand true and pure boxing, you understand body movement, body mechanics, and understanding and ring generalship and just overall IQ in the ring in a hot situation, there's no way in this green earth you can call Floyd Mayweather boring. But when compared to Triple G, who do you want to watch more? You want to watch Triple G because he's going to knock some fool's head off. So you want to watch Triple G. So again, this would make it fair for everybody. Now, granted, I think Jermall Charlo is just talking about himself, Demetrius Andrade, and David Benavidez. I mean, it would be nice to have Caleb Plant jump back in the pot because you got to make it like an even number as well. If it's not, it's just kind of silly and stupid. So, you really need to make it an even number. There's a lot of guys that could be put in there if that's the case. I mean, we could throw Triple G in there as well, because a lot of those guys have been calling out Triple G for years, and he hasn't responded. He hasn't responded to Charlo. He hasn't responded to Andrade. He hasn't responded to Benavidez, even though they know each other very well because they used to spar. And the minute, Benavidez became who he became in the ring, under the spotlight, suddenly, Triple G didn't know him anymore. So it's just like, this would answer a lot of questions. It really would. And I wish the sport would adopt this. I mean, we could do it like how it was done with the Super Six and Andre Ward. Simple as that, Simple as that. We can just get the top 6 guys, throw those guys in a pot to see who makes it out in the end. See who rises to the top in the end. And then you get the golden goose. You get Canelo Alvarez. You get that big money pot. You get that life-changing fight where you may not even want to fight ever again, and now you have the means and the funds to not fight ever again. How about that? Again, I personally don't see anything wrong with it. I like that. And it is, like I said, it is very possible. It just takes somebody to put up the money. Listen, DAZN, put up the money. You claim you got all this money. Whoever, put up the money. If you truly, any promotion that truly believes in their guy and they truly believe their guy can rise to the top, if that's Showtime, put up the money for Charlo. Whoever, put up the money. If you truly believe in your guy and you truly believe in their skills, you truly believe they'll rise to the top, and you truly believe that you can bank from them fighting and beating Canelo, by all means, put up the money and let's see another Super Six. Let's do it. Let's do it. I like this notion. I hope it gets some momentum behind it. The ball gets some steam and it rolls down the hill and somebody actually picks this up. You tell me what your thoughts are. Do you think it's possible to have a tournament-style box-off? And on top of that, who do you think would rise to the top? Let me know down below. Drop your comments. And as always, please like, please share, and please subscribe to my channel.